Good afternoon, good afternoon. Good afternoon sa lahat ng mga manonood natin sa ating DepEd E-Tulay online tutorial for grade 6 mathematics. Good afternoon po to dear teachers and to grade 6 students. Ayan. So, alam niyo naman, every Friday is Mathematics Day. And to start off our Mathematics Day ay nandito muli ako, ang inyong tutor, ang inyong Math Bay. Ako ang inyong Math Bay tutor Andre. And again, kasama ko rin backstage si Tutor Prince. Good afternoon, Tutor Prince. Ayan. And again, welcome to our DepEd E-Tulay online tutorial for grade 6 mathematics. So, ayan. For our lesson for today, so we're going to start off with quarter 4, week 4. By the way pala, bago muna tayo magsimula nating lesson, ay maikling greetings muna sa ating mga manonood. So, kay Kevin Martin Doluntap, good afternoon po, watching from Sorsogon East Central School, Sorsogon City. Ayan, so grade 6 SSES advisor, si Ma'am Jessica Ramiscal. Ayan. Another soulmate, ito, si Cassandra Bravo, good afternoon po, from Gamu Central School, grade 6 Mahogany, still watching and listening to DepEd E-Tulay live session. Ayan, maraming salamat. Kevin Martin, Cassandra. Kay Enrico Dalupan, good afternoon po, from Santa Barbara Elementary School. Watching and listening to DepEd E-Tulay. Ayan, thank you, Enrico. Ayan, si Eliza Jane Atrihino, good afternoon po, grade 6 pupil, watching from Malasin Elementary School, SDO City of Ilagan, Isabela. Wow, all the way from Isabela, Region 2. Advisor, si Ma'am Joan Agustin Molina Darbin. Ayan. Si Gracie Canisala, good afternoon. Ayan. Si Flodifel Cruz from Rufino Cruz Memorial Elementary School, SDO Bulacan, District of Pulilan. Ayan. So, ang kanyang teacher ay si Ma'am Melanie A. Cabarubias. Ang kanyang principal ay si Ma'am Rio Bernadette Tovera. Siya ay grade 6 Venus. Okay. And I think last na lang to. Si Carl Dominic Baliwas, good afternoon po. Ayan, si Georgette, I think bago to, si Georgette Hernando, good afternoon po. And ayan, sige, dagdag ko na rin last, si Carl Dominic Baliwas, grade 6 Margie, grade 6 Margie, or sorry, advisor si Ma'am Margie Raffles. Ang kanyang math teacher si Ma'am Lenny A. Competente. Ayan, watching from Muñoz Central School, Science, City of Muñoz, Nueva Ecija, Region 3. Ayan, so thank you very much sa ating mga manonood. So hopefully ay may matutunan kayo sa ating mga lessons, my dear grade 6 students. Ayan. Okay, so for Math 6, quarter 4, week 4, we're going to learn about constructing and interpreting a pie graph and solving routine and non-routine problems using data from the pie graph. Okay. So again, abangan ulit kami ni Tutor Prince every Friday, Mathematics 6 from 1 p.m. to 1:40 p.m. via our FB and YouTube pages, DepEd EdTech Unit, DepEd Tayo, DepEd Philippines, DepEd EdTech at DepEd TV. Maraming salamat po. Ayan. Okay, so special thanks to the division office for lending us our modules that we are going to use for today's session. Ayan. So the development team of the module. So mga ma'am and sir, thank you very much po. So we have for quarter 4 module 4 and sinabay ko na din. Actually, this is for week 5 but since kaya naman siya discuss within the day, hopefully. So sinama ko na rin ang module 5. Supposedly this is for week 5. Thank you din po mga ma'am and sir. Okay, so what are the objectives for the lesson for today? So at the end of the session, you will be able to construct a pie graph based on a given set of data and interpret it. And also you're going to solve routine and non-routine problems using data presented in a pie graph. Okay. So before that, let's have our solvemates of the week for quarter 4, week 2. So parangalanan natin ang mga sumusunod. Sino-sino nga ba sila? Sila ay sina, ayan, si Gwyneth Angeline L. Tolentino. So in-include natin si Gwyneth. And for quarter 4, week 3, solvemates of the week, we have Henry Stephen P. Kadapan, Gwyneth Angeline L. Tolentino, Nerwin Negal Jr., Maria Riana Mitisha T. Sempron, Ian Gale R. Dilay, Kevin Martin J. Doluntap. We have also John Vincent A. Gadi, and we have Cassandra C. Bravo. We have also our soulmate Adrian Ray D. Rivera. And of course, si Jeric Johan S. Ramirez. Ayan. So congratulations sa ating mga soulmates. Ay, and of course, si Gerald R.V. D. Cantor. And lastly, si Ariane May Zacarias. So maraming salamat sa inyo mga soulmates. Okay, so to start off, we have lesson number 1. So how to construct and interpret a pie graph based on a given set of data. Ayan. So hopefully ay marunong kayo magbasa ng pie graph because you're going to construct and interpret the pie graph later on. Okay, so to start off, when we look for information to help us make important decisions, we often find the information in the form of graphs. So actually, there are many graphs, no? So we have different types of graphs. But for now, we are going to encounter first pie graph. Ayan. So one of them is pie graph. Okay, so let's have some examples here. So suppose we have this table. So the table below shows the percentage of learners who like the given flavors of ice cream. So we have the ice cream flavors. So tamang-tama, napakainit ng panahon ngayon, no? So medyo umiinit ulit. So nung mga nakaraan, maulan, ngayon umiinit na naman. So kailangan natin ng pampalamig na ice cream. So ano-ano nga ba yung mga most like ice cream flavors of learners? So you have the following. For Rocky Road, we have 10 learners. Double Dutch, 4 learners. Strawberry, 10 learners then. Vanilla is 4 learners. And chocolate, 12 learners for a total of 40 learners. Now, the question is, based on the given table, how will you construct a pie graph? Ayan. So, paano nga ba tayo magko-construct ng pie graph? Okay. So pie graphs or circle graphs, so kaya nga siya pie graph, no? So it's literally it's a pie, parang mga different types of pie, no? So circle graphs are used to show the percent of a quantity in each of the several categories. It can also be used to easily visualize the ratio of one category to another. Ayan. So ginagamit natin yan para ma-represent natin ang percent ng isang quantity. So yung kabuuan, no? So yun nga yung ice cream flavors. So to construct a pie graph, we are going to follow the steps. So to do the pie graph, so first, step number 1, find the angle measure for each section. So paano nga ba natin hahanapin ang angle measure ng bawat section? So for that, we're going to have step 2. Change the number of learners per ice cream flavor preference to percent form. Ayan. So we will going to change the different number of learners into percent form. How will you do that? So to do that, you are going to divide the given number of learners by the total number of learners. Then, their total quotients is multiplied to 100 since we're going to change the decimal 2%. Since sa kalalabasan doon, pag dinivide natin, ang number of learners by the total is the decimal form. So to change it to percent, we just multiply it to 100 or just simply move the decimal point 2 places to the right. Okay. So ayan yung mga examples. So for Rocky Road, so since you have 10 learners, so we divide 10 learners by 40. So 10 divided by 40. So when you compute that, that is 0.25. And when changed to percent, that will be 25%. So meaning, out of the 40 learners, 25% of them liked Rocky Road. Okay. Then similarly, we will do the other for Double Dutch. We have 4 divided by 40. That's 0.10. Then multiplied by 100 is 10%. Then for Strawberry, since it's just the same with the Rocky Road, so it's also 25%. We have also for Vanilla, since it's similar to Double Dutch, that is 10% of the learners, total learners. And lastly, for Chocolate, we have 12 learners divided by 40, so that's 0.30. then multiplied by 100, that is equivalent to 30%. So make sure that the total percent is 100%. So when you add 25, 10, 25, 10, and 30, the sum should be 100% because it represents the whole number of learners, 40. Okay. And let's go to the next step, number 3. So what's step 3? So once you change each of the following number of learners to percent form, we're going to change the percent form to decimal point by moving the decimal point 2 places to the left and then multiply each decimal to 360 degrees. So parang katulad ng kanina, so babalik tayo ulit sa decimal form. Then yung decimal form niya, i-multiply mo sa 360 degrees. Bakit magkaroon tayo ng 360 degrees? It is because 360 degrees represents the complete rotation of a circle. So isang ikot ng circle, yung mismong bilog, no? So that is 360 degrees. Isang ikot. Okay. So to do that, so for Rocky Road, that is 25% of 360 degrees. So that is 0.25 multiplied by 360 degrees. So that's equivalent to 90 degrees. Okay, tama. Very good. May mga nagsasagot like si Kerubin and Carl Dominic. Very good. So that's 90 degrees. So next is for double Dutch. For double Dutch is to multiply 10% by 360 degrees. So that's equivalent to 0.10 times 360 degrees. So that's equivalent to 36 degrees. Then since pares ang strawberry kay Rocky Road, so that's also 90 degrees. And since pares naman si vanilla kay Double Dutch, so that's 36 degrees. And for chocolate, we have 30% of 360 degrees, or that is 0.30 multiplied by 360 degrees. So that is equivalent to 108 degrees. And to check whether the degree measurements are correct, so make sure to get the total degrees for the 5 flavors. So that will be 90 degrees plus 36 degrees plus 90 degrees plus 36 degrees plus 108 degrees. So the equivalent or the total should be 360 degrees. Okay, so make sure that you have a total of 360 degrees. And once you get the total degree measure or the degree measure of each flavor, so you have already to make the table. So again, you have additional 2 columns at the right side. So the third column is the percent equivalent for each flavor and the number of learners. And the fourth column or the last column, we have the equivalent angle measure or the degree measure. Okay. So note that if the number of learners per preference is not found and only percent is given, so kasi may mga ibang problem or word problems, mamaya-maya may encounter natin mga anak na kung saan percent lang ang ibinibigay o percent lang ang given. So what we're going to do is to just simply multiply each percent by the total number of learners. So katulad niyan. So halimbawa, given lang sa pie graph o given lang sa table ay percent lang. Wala yung 10, 4, 10, 4, 12. So 25%, 10%, 25%, 10%, 30% lang given. So ang gagawin nyo lang, imumultiply nyo lang yung bawat percent sa total number of learners. So 25% times 40, 10% times 40, tapos 30% times 40. So makukuha nyo agad yung number of learners. So yun yung gagawin ninyo. In case lamang na percent ang given. Okay, so next step is to draw a circle using a compass. So hopefully, in drawing circle graph or pie graph, you should have a compass. So ano ang, bakit kinakailangan natin ng compass? Of course, so to have a perfect circle, no? And also, we can locate the center of the circle. Yung point na makikita sa pinakagitna ng circle. So you should have with you your compass. It is important to have your compass so that you have a perfect circle. And we have the next step, step number 5. So using also a protractor. So you have already learned how to draw angles, right? So you're going to draw the angle measures of 90 degrees, 36 degrees, 90 degrees, 36 degrees, and 108 degrees. And then, you are going to label each section. Okay, so paano yun? Ayan. So, as you can see, for the illustration shown on your screens right now, so we have their first 90 degrees. 90 degrees represents the first flavor or the first ice cream flavor, that is the Rocky Road. So 90 degrees siya, so it's a right angle obviously. So that is how to draw. So using the protractor, itinapat mo muna yung protractor to sa circle, then you find 90 degrees. So once you find the 90 degrees, you draw the angle 90 degrees. And then after that, you also do the same thing with the remaining angles. So in connection to the 90-degree angle for the Rocky Road, you will draw a 36-degree angle for double Dutch. So as you can see, obviously 36 degrees is an acute angle since it's less than 90 degrees. So smaller lang ang opening niya. So as you can see, we have to do our protractor like this. So pinahiga natin siya and we locate 36 degrees. So technically this is 36 degrees, no? When you look at the protractor, so we simply draw a line connecting to the vertex. So we have formed already a 36-degree angle. So that is for the double Dutch. And susundan lang natin mga anak. So next is a strawberry. So kung mapapansin niyo yung ating protractor ay medyo tinagilid natin. So from the 36-degree angle, we are connecting a 90-degree angle. So obviously this is a 90-degree angle. Ayan. So we have to draw a 90-degree angle. So that is for the strawberry, 90 degrees. And again, similarly for vanilla, we have to draw a 36-degree angle. So you locate 36 degrees on your protractor. So that is 36 degrees. And of course, the last one, for formality, we measure using our protractor. So the remaining angle should be exactly 108 degrees. So that is for the chocolate. So that's how to construct a pie graph. So therefore, we have already draw a pie graph. And then the last step, once you draw the pie graph, you are going to write a title for the graph. So obviously the title for this pie graph is the most like ice cream flavors of learners. So that is how to draw a pie graph. Ayan. So hopefully ay marunong na kayong mag-drawing ng pie graph. Okay. So let's see. So let's have the steps in constructing a pie graph. So again, find the angle measure for each section accordingly by the percentage. Then second, you draw a circle using a compass. The third one is to use a protractor to draw each angle measure and partition the circle. Then label each section. Then lastly, always important to write a title for the pie graph. Yun yung importante sa pie graph natin, yung title, syempre. Okay, so now you already know how to construct a pie graph. Let's have an exercise. Isang mabilis na exercise lang tayo. So using our chat box in our FB Live, so we have there the following. The pie chart below shows how a grade 6 learner spends his day. Take note. So we have the following pie graph. So we have sleep, study, doing chores, playing outdoors, playing gadgets, and others. And then refer to the pie chart to answer the this. What percent of the day is used by the learner in doing the household chores? And number 2, in which category does the learner spend most of his time? Okay, sige, I'll wait for your answers. By the way, you may prepare your pen and paper because you're going to solve problems involving pie graphs. So let's see. Again, number 1, I'm waiting for your answers. What percent of the day is used by the learner in doing the household chores? And number 2, in which category does the learner spend most of his time. Okay, so I'm waiting for your answers. Okay, so I've seen one from Kerubin Gabriel Villamor. For number one, ang sagot daw niya ay 15% po. 15% nga ba? Of course, based on the pie graph, doing the household chores is 15% of his work. Ayan, so doing chores is 15%. So the answer for number one is 15%. Okay, for number two, the question is, in which category does the learner spend most of his time? So, Miss Magot, sabi ni Kyle Joseph Tubaon, sleep. Sabi ni Henry Stephen Kadapan, sleep din. Sagot ni Kerubin, sleep. Okay, so of course, mostly naman sumagot ng tama. So that is for sleep. It, since the grade 6 learner spends 34%, so that is the most number of percent a grade 6 learner spend kada araw. So that is for sleep. So the correct answer is sleep. So yun ang pinakamalaking percentage. Okay. So let's proceed to the third question, fourth and fifth as well. So ayan, for numbers 3 to 5, we have the following. How many hours of the day does the learner use gadgets? Then for number 4, how many percent does the learner spend in studying the lesson? And for number 5, how many percent does the learner spend in doing other things? So again, read carefully the questions. Take note for number 3. How many hours of the day does the learner use gadgets? Number 4, how many percent does the learner spend in studying the lesson? And number 5, how many percent does the learner spend in doing other things? Again, binigyan ko na kayo ng clue. For number 3, we are talking about the number of hours. How many hours of the day? Okay. So, okay, let's answer first numbers 4 and 5. Actually, madali lang siya. So, since you're going to find the percent in studying the lesson, so studying the lesson, that is 25%. So, the answer for number 4 is 25%. Number 5, how many percent does the learner spend in doing other things? So, others. Ito yung others. So, that is 6%. Okay, may mga sumasagot sa number 3. Ang sabi ninyo ay 1.92 hours. Ang unang sumagot ay si Carl Dominic Baliwa, sinundan ni Kevin Martin at ni Flodifel Cruz, 1.92 hours. So, paano ba natin malalaman? So, ano ba ang gadgets? 8% of the day, no? So, that will be 24 hours multiplied by 8%. So, 8% is 0.08 in decimal. So, that will be multiplied. So, 0.08 multiplied from 24. So, that is 32. Carry 3. So, that's 8 times 2 is 16. Added by 3 is 19. And since we have 2 decimal places in our multiplier 0.08, so just simply move the decimal point 2 places to the left. So therefore, that is 1.92. So therefore, the answer to that question is 1.92 hours. So that's approximately almost 2 hours, no? So almost 2 hours siyang naglalaro ng gadgets. Ganon din ba kayo, grade 6 students? Pag naglalaro kayo ng gadgets, mga saglit lamang, 2 hours, ganyan. Well, may time naman din talaga para maglaro, no? Pero syempre, don't forget to always study and do your homework kung kinakailangan, no? Okay, sige. Anyways, let's proceed to the next. So now you already know how to construct and interpret a pie graph. Let's now try to solve word problems. So we have solving routine and non-routine problems using data presented in a pie graph. Okay. So in the previous lesson, you have learned how to construct a pie graph based on the given set of data and interpret it. But this time, we will now focus on how to solve routine and non-routine problems using data presented in a pie graph. Okay, let's have an example there. The problem is, Menji's flower shop has 5 varieties of flowers. So as you can see, we have 5 varieties of flowers. We have orchids, anthurium, carnation, roses, and tulips, no? So, chat nyo nga sa akin, baka may favorite kayong flowers, grade 6 students. Her shop has 350 flowers in all. The pie graph on the right shows the percent of flowers in each variety. The question is, how many percent of flowers are tulips? And how many are the tulip flowers? So you have two questions to answer. Again, you have two questions. First one, how many percent of flowers are tulips? And second, how many are tulip flowers? Let us see. So to solve the problem, a four-step plan can be used. So again, as always naman. So let's have the step one. So for step one, we have to understand the problem. So first, of course, you consider what is asked in the problem. So ano nga ba ang hinahanap o tinatanong sa problem? So we have the problem asked for the percent and the number of tulips. Ayan. So ilang percent ang tulips at ilan ang tulips sa pangkalahatan. Next, letter B, what are the given facts? Aba, ang bibilis ng mga students natin, may mga nagsasagot na ng question natin. So sabi daw nila 16% daw ang tulips. And the number of tulips is 56. Wow. Check natin kung tama ang bibilis ninyo. What are the given facts? So we have the 5 varieties of flowers. Of course, you have 350, the total number of flowers. 30% are roses, 14% are carnation, 27% are anthurium, and 3% are orchids. Okay, so those are the given facts. Let's proceed with the step 2. So step 2 is plan. Okay, I have already revealed the equation, but of course, one by one. So plan the operations to be used. Of course, you're going to use 3 operations, namely addition, subtraction, and multiplication. Okay, and then formulate the equation or equations. So first one, let n be the percent of tulips. So to do that, of course, you have y first, y also rather, be the number of tulips. So n be the percent of tulips and y be the number of tulips. So for that, we are going to first find the equation for the first question. So to determine the equation for the first question, so that is 100% minus 30% plus 14% plus 27% plus 13% is equal to n. Again, that's 100% minus the sum of 30%, 14%, 27%, and 13%. Since the whole pie graph is 100%, so to find the number of percent for tulips, since yun lang yung hinahanap natin, natitirang isa, so para malaman natin kung ilang percent yan, yung mga nakikita nyong sa apat na flowers, yung percent nila, i-add nyo lang sila, then isusubtract yung sum nila sa 100. Okay, then second one, equation for the second question. So the equation for the second question, actually na-reveal ko na. So that is n is equal to 350, or n times 350 rather, n times 350 is equal to y. Since kailangan natin alamin kung ilang tulips meron tayo. So that will be n times 350 equals to y. Okay, next step 3 is to solve. And to solve the problem, of course, we have to show the computation. So for the computation, we are going to what? We are going to solve for the following. So the solutions for question number 1, again, that is 100% minus the sum of the 4% percentage there. So the sum of the 4 percentage is rather 84%, and from that 84% will be subtracted from 100%, so that is 16%. So actually there is already a 16% there in our pie graph, so we have 16%, and of course the complete answer for that is 16% are tulip flowers. So tama ang inyong sagot, 16%. So ang kailangan na nating alamin kung ilang tulips meron si Menji. And to do that, for question number 2, the solution is we are going to multiply 16% by 350. So we replace n by 16%. So that will be 16% times 350. And since na-review na natin ang multiplication of percent and base, so rate and base, no? So kukunin mo na yung percentage niyan. So that will be the same as 0.16 times 350. That's equal to y, and therefore y is equal to 56. So therefore there are 56 pieces of tulip flowers. So tama ang inyong sagot. Very good. Grade 6 students. Ayan, napakagaling ninyo. So tama ang inyong mga sagot. Very good. Okay, of course, to solve, ayun na nga. So therefore, to answer the problem, we have 56 tulip flowers, which comprise 16% of flowers in Menji's shop. Ayan, okay. And of course, to check out if our answers are correct, look back and what is asked in the problem and find out the answer to the problem. So gagawin nyo lang, check nyo lang kung tama ng ating sagot. So therefore, we have question number 1. You just simply add all the rates there. So we have 30%, 14%, 27%, 13%, and 16%. So make sure that when we add all the 5 percentages there, the result will be 100%, which comprise the whole pie graph. So 100% ang sagot natin. So tama ang 16%. And for question number 2, to check our answer, we just simply divide 56 by 350. So we divide 56 by 350. So 56 divided by 350. So that is 0.16, or that is 16% when converted to percent. So therefore, tama ang ating mga sagot. Okay, sige. Let's have more examples. So follow-up questions to the problem. Let's have number 1. How many are roses? So ilan nga ba ang roses sa ating given? Sige nga, kindly compute how many roses do we have? Ilang roses meron si Menji? Kindly type in your answers using the chat box. Ayan. So sabi ni Liza Ignacio, 16. Okay, sabi ni Gwyneth Angeline, 105 roses. We're looking for the number of roses. Huh? Take note of the question. How many are roses? It's not what percent of flowers are roses. It's not. So we're not looking for the percent. We're looking for the number of roses. And by the way, speaking of roses, of course, we are pinaparangalan po natin si Miss Susan Roses po sa kanyang magaling na pagganap bilang isang decalibring artista. So may you rest in peace po, Ma'am Susan Roses. Maraming salamat po. Okay, so 105 roses daw ang sagot. Let's see kung tamang inyong sagot. So to compute for that, the pie graph shows that the 30% of the 350 flowers of Menji in her flower shop are roses. So tama po. So we have let n be the number of pieces of roses. And to do that, we just simply multiply 30% by 350. So that is 30% of 350. So that's 0.30 multiplied by 350. And the result will be 105. So tama ang inyong sagot. Very good. Grade 6 students. Ang gagaling ninyo. Okay, let's have another one. Number 2. How many orchids and anthurium flowers are there? How many orchids and anthurium flowers are there? So we are looking for the number of orchids and anthurium. So in that case, you will get the total number of orchids and anthurium. So ilan ang lahat-lahat ng orchids and anthurium? So kindly compute. Okay. Ayan, so according to Carl Dominic Baliwas, 140 pieces daw. 140 pieces of orchids and anthurium. Okay, let us see kung tama nga ba ang sagot ni Carl Dominic. Sabi ni Henry Stephen at ni Cassandra Bravo, 140, at si Nerwin din. So in the graph presented, 13% of the flowers are orchids and 27% of the flowers are anthurium. So therefore, we just simply, again, let n be the number of pieces of orchids and anthurium. So that is we add 13% and 27%, and then we multiply that by 350. So that's 40% of 350. So that's 0.40 times 350. That's equal to n. So therefore, n is equal to 140 pieces. So therefore, there are 140 flowers consisting of orchids and anthurium. Ang gagaling ninyo, grade 6. Pwede na talaga kayo mag-solve ng problems. Malunong na. Okay, let's have another one. How many pieces of carnation are there? Ayan, ilang carnation meron sa flower shop ni Menji? Sige nga, isang mabilis. So, ano nga ba o ilan nga ba ang carnation flowers ni Menji? Okay. So, let's see. Ilang carnation? Okay, bilis ni Carl Dominic talaga, no? 49 pieces daw. Then sinundan ni Nerwin at ni Henry Stephen, 49 carnation. Let's see. So that's 14% of the flowers in Menji's flower shop. So carnation is 14%. So that is, and again, we move the number of pieces of carnation. So that is 14% of 350. That's equal to n. So therefore, that's 0.14 times 350 equals to n. So therefore, that is n equals to 49. Wow, very good. Ang bibilis naman mag-solve ng ating mga students. Okay, sige, let's have another. And before that, again, to solve routine and non-routine problems using data presented in a pie graph, you may follow the 4-step rule or the 4-step plan. Number 1 is to understand, know what is asked and given in the problem. Number 2 is plan what operation to be used in the problem and its equation. Then number 3 is solve. You will go into show your solutions. And last step is to check and look back. You will check and review your answer and complete your answer with proper label. Okay, so let's have an exercise. Sorry, so mabilis lang. So the pie graph shows how the 300 grade 6 pupils go to school. So answer the following questions. Okay, let's have number 1. How many grade 6 pupils go to school by foot or by walking? By foot or by walking? Is it A? So this is a multiple choice. Is it letter A, 129, letter B, 139, letter C, 149, or letter D, 159? Okay, sige nga. Let us see. So using the pie graph, how many grade 6 pupils go to school by foot or by walking? So again, the pie graph shows the 300 grade 6 pupils, no, that are going to school. So sana, no, next school year, face-to-face na, pwede na ulit tayong bumiyahe, no? Pwede tayong mag-walk, mag-bus, or jeepney, bicycle, pedicab, tricycle. Ayan, so mostly answered A. Let's see if letter A is the answer. So that is correct. Letter A. Very good. So why letter A? Kasi nga, 300 times foot or by walking. So that is 43% multiplied by 300. So 43% times 300, that is equivalent to 129. Very good. Let's proceed to number 2. How many pupils in grade 6 prefer to ride on a bus or jeepney in going to school? Is it letter A, 3, letter B, 6, letter C, 9, or letter D, 12? Okay, let's see. How many pupils in grade 6 prefer to ride on a bus or jeepney in going to school? Is it A, 3, B6, C9, or D12? Okay, so may mga sagot na ba? Ayan, so according to Gwyneth, answered letter B. Same with Nerwin, letter B then. Okay, sunod din ni Henry Stephen, ni Kevin Martin, ni Cassandria, letter B, at ni Lisa Ignacio, letter B. Let's see kung tama ba ang letter B. Tama ba ang letter B? And the correct answer is letter B. Correct. So that is 6. So how did you get 6? So that's 300 multiplied by bus or jeepney represents 2% in the pie graph. So that's 2%. So 300 times 0.02. So that's equivalent to 6. Very good. Grade 6 students. Okay, let's proceed to number 3. How many grade 6 pupils go to school by riding on a bicycle and pedicab? Take note, riding on a bicycle and pedicab. Is it letter A, 50, letter B, 60, letter C, 70, or letter D, 80? Sige nga. Let us wait for your answers. How many grade 6 pupils go to school by riding on a bicycle and pedicab? Is it letter A, 50, letter B, 60, letter C, 70, or letter D, 80? Okay, so according to Kevin Martin, he answered letter B. Sinundan ni Gwyneth, ni Henry Stephen, ni Carl Dominic, ni Cassandra, ni Dayan, ni Hi Edward Joseph, hello, ni Lisa Ignacio. Letter B, the correct answer, class, is letter B. Correct. Very good. 60 students or 60 grade 6 pupils. So bakit naging 60? Kasi we add 5% and 15% kasi bicycle and pedicab. So 5 plus 15 is 20%. Then we multiply 20% by 300. So that's 20% of 300. So that's equivalent to 60. Okay, very good. So far, so good. Last two questions bago tayo magtapos. Number 4. How many more pupils, take note of this how many more pupils prefer to ride on a tricycle than on a pedicab in going to school? Is it letter A, 45, letter B, 60, letter C, 105, or letter D, 150? Again, how many more pupils prefer to ride on a tricycle than on a pedicab in going to school? Is it letter A, 45, letter B, 60, letter C, 105, or letter D, 150? Okay, so ano kaya ang tamang sagot sa number 4? Again, how many more pupils? Okay, according to Henry Stephen, nauna siya, and he answered letter B, 60. Similarly with Carl, Diane, Florifel, Cassandra, Liza, letter B. Letter B nga ba ang tamang sagot? And the correct answer is letter B, 60. That is correct. Very good. So, paano na nakuha ang 60? Kasi tricycle represents 35%. And pedicab represents 15%. So since tinatanong ay how many more pupils prefer, so therefore we subtract. So we subtract 15 by we subtract 15% from 35%, so that's 20%. And then ito yung mas ito yung natitira. So yung 20% niyan, that will be multiplied by 300, and that was our question earlier, no? 20% times 300, so that is 60. So therefore, 60 is the answer. And last, but definitely not the least, how do half of the grade 6 pupils go to school? How do half of the grade 6 pupils go to school? Is it letter A, by riding a tricycle and by walking? Letter B, by riding a tricycle and a pedicab? Letter C, by riding a bicycle and by a jeepney or a bus? Or letter D, by riding a bicycle and a pedicab? O sige nga. So ano kaya ang tamang sagot? How do half of the grade 6 pupils go to school? Is it letter A, by riding a tricycle and by walking? Letter B, by riding a tricycle and a pedicab? Letter C, by riding a bicycle and by a jeepney or a bus? Or letter D, by riding a bicycle and a pedicab? Okay, so answer ni Henry Stephen is B. Same with Cassandra, Liza. Okay, letter B nga ba ang tamang sagot? So letter B nga ba ang tamang sagot ay letter B. Very good. By riding a tricycle and a pedicab. So bakit nga ba ganun ang nangyari? So kasi sa tricycle ay may 35%. Sa pedicab ay merong 15%. So take note, we are looking for half of the grade 6 pupils. And half is the same as 50%. So if we add 35% and 15%, the answer or the sum will be 50%. So that also represents half of the grade 6 pupils. And you can also look at the pie graph by inspection. Notice that the tricycle and pedicab shows half of the pie graph. Ito siya, di ba? So this represents half of the pie graph or 50%. So therefore, that is letter B, by riding a tricycle and a pedicab. Okay, very good. Ang gagaling ninyo lahat, grade 6 students. Palapakan ninyo ang inyong mga sarili. Napakagaling ninyong magsagot. Okay, and for your homework, for next week, for today rather, para mapasama kayo sa ating Soulmates by next week, here is your homework. So for your homework, my dear grade 6 students, please use the hashtags hashtag Math6Q4 Week 4 and hashtag Itulay Level Up. And as much as possible, please do tag us, itag nyo kami o i-mention nyo kami ni Tutor Prince sa inyong pagsasagot. So once you post your answers in our DepEd Itulay FB page, make sure to mention us in your post, kami ni Tutor Prince. Okay, so your homework for today is you are going to construct a pie graph. Take the construct a pie graph. So gagawa kayo ng pie graph as much as possible. You can make it colorful para magandang tignan, no? Be creative in doing your pie graph. And also, you are going to answer the following questions. So once you construct a pie graph, you're going to answer the questions that follow. So the table below shows the favorite fruits of grade 6 of 300 grade 6 learners of Escalante Central Elementary School. So we have banana, mango, avocado, apple, and guava, which consists of 20%, 50%, 5%, 15%, and 10% respectively. So the questions are as follows. Number 1, how many percent of grade 6 learners like guava fruit? Number 2, how many learners like eating bananas? Number 3, what is their least favorite fruit? Number 4, what fruit is favorite by half of grade 6 learners? And number 5, how many more learners prefer to eat apples than avocado fruit? So that will be your homework. Oops, wag kayo magsasagot. That will be your homework, mga anak. Ayan. Okay, thank you. Hope you learned something in our lesson for today. So with that, so thank you very much.